Hello, my name is Dr. Kate Truitt, and we are here exploring the idea of burnout. One of the things that I've talked about is this idea of stimulus triggers in our environment. Now, we live in a society today where we are reachable at any given moment in time. So much so that there's actually a term that we call it when we're unreachable of off the grid. How incredible is that? We actually had to create a specific term of when we are unreachable because we are so very reachable. For the burned out mind and body, that can create an incredible sense of overwhelm, especially when a stimulus shows up in our day-to-day environment, indicating that somebody may need something from us. So these are obviously our work messages, Slack, text messages, emails, the phone ringing, anything that says to our brain or our body, hey, you have an obligation, a responsibility, or somebody has an expectation of you. One of the clearest signs of burnout is when one of those stimuli show up and the nervous system does what I call, does a cortisol dump and says, enough, it's too much. And then we are moved out of our resiliency zone and into a state of overwhelm very quickly. The thing is once we get bumped out of our resiliency zone, it's almost like a stress hangover. It can take us anywhere from 12 to 36 hours to come back in. Now, that's an incredibly powerful thing for a stimulus trigger to be able to do to us in our day-to-day life. For a single email to basically, in effect, give us a hangover. Might as well drink a bottle of wine, right? Because, hey, it's going to have a similar effect. So one of the tools that I've created specifically in relationship to burnout that I've now disseminated greatly, but it came into my world because I was experiencing some burnout many years ago. When our amygdala starts to feel overwhelmed or stressed out, our friend Amy, back here, this little survival-based creature of ours, she loves us, but man, can she freak out pretty quickly when she needs to. Her job is to keep us alive. And if she starts to experience an incoming piece of data, such as an email as threat or a text message as threatening, then it can make our life fairly untenable. The good news about our friend Amy is that she's pretty easy to calm down. So CPR for the amygdala is a very easy way to soothe your amygdala. You're creating personal resiliency such that your strong and powerful self-thinking brain has the opportunity to come back on and be more proactively engaged in your day-to-day life. The more that we utilize this tool, the less reactivity we will have overall. Now, sometimes it might only take us 2 minutes to calm down. Other times it could take up to 20 minutes, depending on the severity of the overwhelm that we're experiencing, as well as the intensity of the burnout. So patience is crucial. Additionally, the more often you use CPR for the amygdala, the more your nervous system will get used to participating in the exercise and the more it will sink into the experience. I call this developing neural memory. Just like we have muscle memory, this is neural memory. Our brain's getting used to doing something with repetition. So a great exercise is to sing some childhood songs that you enjoy. Maybe Old MacDonald had a farm, or Mary had a little lamb. You can also play some category games, such as go A to Z and find a place in the world for every letter of the alphabet. Another technique that you can do is to utilize the space around you and incorporate in mindfulness. And so let's practice this right now. Look around your environment and find 5 different objects that appeal to you. Once you've found those 5, go back to the first one and identify 5 little details. Details may be about the shape of the object, the lines, the angles, perhaps gradients in its color, maybe its size, what you imagine it feels like if you were to touch it. Any 5 details. And then you'll move on to the next object and do the same for that object. We're going to do this for all 5 objects and then end with a gentle breath in. And a long, slow, easy exhale. And then check back in on the energy that showed up when that stimulus trigger arrived in your environment. And notice if your mind or body feels any different. If you still notice some activation, you can repeat any of those activities again. The 5 objects. This time you could find 5 objects of all the same color and then do 5 details for each of those objects. Or again, singing songs or category games. So this is a really quick, easy, and effective brain hack for reducing your reactivity to those stimulus triggers that can cause so much destruction when we're feeling burned out. Remember, we have the opportunity to choose when we interact with the world. A lot of times Amy doesn't feel like she has choice, and that's when that overwhelm comes on. And so this little hack, CPR for the amygdala, ensures that we have choice and are able to respond to those emails, text messages when we are ready and capable, not when our nervous system feels reactive and it feels overwhelming.